Hello my dear polyglots, this is Niki and you're watching Natural Learning. Have you ever felt tongue-tied when speaking a foreign language? Stuck, unable to form a sentence, like your brain just hit the pause button? Or maybe you have struggled to remember a word that you could easily recall using flashcards. If any of this resonates, stick around because we will discover System 1 and System 2 thinking, how your brain works, why your language learning approach might be holding you back, and most importantly, how to fix it. Your brain operates in two distinct modes, System 1 and System 2. System 1 is fast, automatic, and effortless, like speaking your native language. System 2, on the other hand, is slow, deliberate, and it requires effort, like trying to remember the right word or a grammar rule. To keep it simple, in this video, we're going to call System 1 fast brain and System 2 slow brain. Here's a quick example. You read this subconsciously in milliseconds time, without any effort. This is the fast brain. And now, can you tell me what color these words are? It probably took you a few seconds to answer that correctly, and that is because by confusing your brain with conflicting inputs, I have made it switch to the slow brain. Before we go any further though, please make sure that you like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our future videos. All of this is a very well-studied area of psychology, and if you're interested in learning more, then check out this amazing video by Maksym. If you would like to dig even deeper, then I highly recommend this book, Thinking Fast and Slow by Kahneman. He won the Nobel Prize in economics as well. In this video, however, we are going to talk about this knowledge in the context of language learning. So, how does your fast and slow thinking apply to language learning? Let's start with grammar. Speaking in a foreign language is a fast brain skill. Analyzing grammar deliberately, on the other hand, is a slow brain skill. So, to give you an example, if I want to say, as I was saying, in Persian, my mother tongue, I'd say dashtam, migoftam. Now, you don't really have time to think that, okay, dashtam, the root is dashtan, and because of the suffix am, we know it's first person and it's singular. Migoftam, the root is goftan, which means to tell, to say, and then mi, the prefix, shows that it's a continuous action, and the suffix am shows that it's first person and it's singular. This logic is the slow brain thinking. It's deliberate and it's effortful. But in real conversation, you don't have time for that. You need to be able to produce sentences immediately, effortlessly, and without hesitation. And that is where your fast brain comes in. It handles the process for you automatically because you have practiced enough to feel the correct sentence, not analyze it. So the goal is to train your fast brain to basically handle these sentences naturally, like a reflex. The more you expose yourself to a language through speaking, listening, real-world practice, the more your brain starts recognizing patterns and basically producing sentences intuitively. And you don't necessarily have to know the rules to be able to use them. Think of it like catching a ball. If you stop to calculate the trajectory, angles, and velocity, you will probably end up with a ball in your face. The good news is, there is a dedicated brain area for processing and understanding grammar in real time. It's called Broca's area, and it evolved to handle language automatically and effortlessly. On the other hand, there is no specific brain region for analyzing grammar, like the kind of analysis you'd find in a textbook. For that, you rely on the prefrontal cortex, which is the same area we use for mathematics, reasoning, logic, problem solving, etc. The catch? It was not built for speed, which is why overthinking grammar actually slows you down. That being said, you can still use grammar to self-correct and deepen your understanding of a language. Just don't do it in the middle of a conversation. Let's talk about vocabulary. If you want to turn any skill into a habit, meaning integrating it into your fast brain, the key is repetition. But here's the catch. You only get better at the specific skills you repeat. What does this mean? For example, let's say you drill flashcards. You are training your brain to learn words in isolation, not to use them in real conversations. So over time, you're gonna get really good at memorizing and quickly recalling words using flashcards, but when it's time to actually put them in a real sentence, you're probably gonna get stuck. So, what should you do instead? In real life, unfortunately, it's not enough to just recall individual words. You need to be able to use them naturally as part of sentences. And that's exactly what you should practice. Instead of drilling single words, try to practice them in phrases or sentences. The more varied these sentences and repetitions are, the better. The goal is to train your brain to use these words as part of a larger system, effortlessly, just like you do in your native language. So the key is still repetition, but it's the right kind of repetition that matters. So, why do you sometimes go blank when speaking a foreign language? It all comes down to how your brain handles multitasking, or rather, how bad it is at it. Your fast brain can multitask to an extent. So for example, you can drive a car while also listening to an audiobook. But then again, if something unexpected happens on the road, you'll miss a sentence or two. Slow brain, on the other hand, cannot multitask at all. It's a slow, deliberate, and fully focused on a single task. So think about trying to solve a math problem while also planning your next move in chess. It's just impossible. So, what happens when you speak a foreign language? When you are having a conversation, your slow brain is in charge of the plot. It's thinking about, what's my plan for this interaction? What is the point I'm trying to make? And how can I explain myself clearly to the person I'm talking to? But then, if you add extra little tasks like, what's the right word order here? Or what tense should I use? Or, oh, what was the mnemonic for that word? Then it just simply breaks down, because you're adding too much cognitive load, which we want less of. Why? Because all these little tasks crowd out your slow brain's ability to focus on the actual conversation. And the result? You forget what you wanted to say, you lose track of the point you were trying to make, and you go completely blank. The solution? Shift tasks to your fast brain. In order to speak fluently, you need to reduce the burden on your slow brain. The more you practice speaking, listening, and forming sentences automatically, the more your fast brain takes over. Words, phrases, and grammar will come to you naturally without needing to think about them. And this frees up your slow brain so it can focus on the bigger picture, planning the conversation and expressing yourself effectively. So in short, the goal is to automate as much of the language process as possible, so you can focus on what truly matters, communicating. And the key here, as always, is repetition and practice. Try to speak out loud as much as possible using different sentences, and remember that repetition leads to automation. So, to wrap things up, your brain has two systems. System 1, which is fast and automatic. System 2, which is a slow and effortful. Speaking a foreign language is a System 1 skill. So in order to achieve fluency, you need to shift all tasks to System 1. And here's how you do it. Step 1. Learn grammar by practicing real sentences out loud. And don't overthink while speaking. Step 2. Learn words in context. Train yourself to use vocabulary in real sentences and not in isolation. Step 3. Shift all tasks to System 1. The more you practice, the more your brain learns to recognize patterns and handle language automatically for you like a reflex. And what tricks do you use to learn languages faster? Let me know in the comment section below. Happy language learning, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.